All right, peace and black power, everybody. I want to welcome you to another NCRBGZ Productions. With that being said, we got a nice show lined up for the family. I know we ain't been up here in a while, but we back here. And the name of today's show is the aftermath of Breonna Taylor decision as far as the charges to pay out. And we're just going to talk about a lot of things that's been going on in the community, in our own community, in our community as a large for the last 2-3 weeks. Like always, we want you to like the video, thumb up the video, share the video, leave a comment, let people know what you think of what we're talking about. And I want to give people on the panel the opportunity to introduce themselves to the family, and then we're going to go from there.
Peace, family. I'm Lenora Evans. Welcome.
Peace, family. I'm Elder Remessel.
Peace, family. This is Master U.
Is anybody else up here who haven't said anything?
Yeah, this is Chavis Hayes at Call Yoon, aka Call Yoon. So I'm in here tonight.
Okay. All right. Thanks, brother, for being here. And I thank all y'all for being here, actually, because like everybody else, y'all don't have to be here. Y'all can be anywhere else. So I appreciate y'all being here also. All right. With that being said, we all know what happened with Breonna Taylor. And we know that, they got a settlement. I think it was for like 13 million. If I'm wrong, somebody can correct me. And yesterday, what they did was they came out and they didn't charge one of the police officers, the one that got fired, he got charged. But it wasn't as far as being charged in the death of Breonna Taylor. It was more of he was charged. I forgot the charge of basically shooting in a random house. It's a misdemeanor. I think the max you can get is 5 years. So with that, it was a lot of protests. People been protesting, marching, and I just want to know what y'all think about it. I got a video I'm gonna play, but I want to know, initially, I just tell y'all, I already knew, I felt it was gonna happen because of one, the lawyer they had Benjamin Crump. To me, Benjamin Crump is a settlement attorney. At the end of the day, that's what he do. He get you settlements. He get you paid. But if somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the brother has ever won a case. I think he's over in all the cases as far as criminal charges, but civil charges, I think he get the family paid. So when I saw that they got that money, I felt like the fix was in. That basically, they was going to get that money. They got the money, and it was basically a payoff. Like, okay, the civil case is basically the state saying that something was wrong, so they give you a civil payout. But as far as criminal charges, they felt as if, according to the evidence, it wasn't enough, so anybody can be charged criminally. That's my take on it. It's really no, with me, it's like it's been happening so much that this is what we expect. So, and that's what happened. Y'all want to comment?
Yeah, I'll add on real quick. To me, they doing what they supposed to be doing. That they doing. I don't anybody who think Breonna Taylor was going to get any type of, like, the cops was going to go to jail or anything like that. I think they were wrongly fooled. History has shown you that nothing will ever change. And so going out here, I don't disrespect anybody who march or protest, but you've been doing that for years, and that has done nothing for you. You've done everything that people have asked you to do. I was on the phone talking to one of my good brothers earlier. You have marched peacefully. You have prayed. You have voted. You have paid your taxes. You have done everything that you're supposed to have been doing. Everything that according to what they say you should do. And what did you get in return? Nothing. You ain't got nothing in return. And so I subscribe to, the honorable what Elijah Muhammad said, Marcus Garvey said. You got to learn to understand to do for self. You have to build your own. That's what you have to do. And until you have enough like-minded people to come together and to make things happen, you will always get what you get. I mean, it is. You will always get what you get. And that's just what it is. And for us to expect something else, or for us to go on Instagram and say, we doing a blackout day, them blackout days don't hurt none of their money at all. It don't hurt their money. Why? Because some of us will still support them no matter what happened. And I know some people say, well, not all people are bad. I agree, not all people are bad. But sometimes people are quick to say, well, they not all bad, but you quick to condemn your own people. You quick to talk down on black people. And I don't subscribe to that at all. But nevertheless, man, what happened is what I expected to happen. I automatically assume ain't nothing happened to them. It just you will not get no justice. It just not happen. The only way that you're going to get justice is there's two ways to get it. And we talked about one way, which I will not go into. You got to really hurt people's pockets. I'm talking about you have to really, 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 I'm talking about drain every last dime from them. If every black person said, we ain't going to Walmart no more, point blank, period. Walmart going out of business, period. Tell me if I'm wrong. But the problem is, you may have 1,000 to do that, but 14 million still can go shop at Walmart. But anyway, I rest my case, man.
I don't have anything to say on it. I mean,
All right, anybody else want to add on?
Yeah, I guess I'll add on. That was eloquently stated, Master You. And I like the reference that you used with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad doing for self. See, we're at a crucial time, in this great country of ours called North of Mexham, and the idea of making change. It's about being able to utilize our economic wealth to make changes, because it's a capitalist society. Until we understand how that works, that means that we don't put our money nowhere unless, of course, we're driving the boat. But we can make change, and we can change from within the system based on how we collectively, come together in terms of approaching this thing from a black nationalist point of view. A black nationalist point of view is what Marcus Garvey used. Our religious ideologies and our differences, put them in the background in our back pockets, and just unite on the fact that we have common, and we unify based on that. Now, if we do that, then we can make policy changes. See, because the reality of it is, those cops were going to always get off, because the jury system is tainted towards giving them a favor, because they work with juries all the time. And we don't know if it was an anonymous jury, who appointed the jury or whatever, to oversee this situation, to say that they didn't have enough evidence. See, it's that system that we have to challenge. You know what I mean? It's no different than the police killing somebody and charging the police with first-degree murder, and we think that the police is going to get charged. Get convicted. No, it's hard to charge. It's hard to convict a police officer on a first-degree murder charge, because you have to get into his head. What was his intent? And it's hard to prove intent. So the attorney general, the prosecutors, they know how to charge somebody knowing that they're going to get off. You know, they know how to stack the deck, and that's what we have to address as a unit, as a family. You know, we have to go in and make policy changes. If we don't make policy changes, then I don't care. You can march and protest from now to doomsday. Nothing is going to change. If it's not written, it never happened. You know, it never happened. And that's what they come at us on policy changes, policies. You know what I mean? So if we can get that part together, you know, in terms of addressing this from a black nationalist point of view, meaning buy black, support black, you know, and be able to say, well, okay, let's make a phone call, and tomorrow nobody's going into Popeyes to buy anything. You know how much money they would lose, you know? And we have to get that savvy with our agenda, you know, and utilize, you know, the intelligence that we have. Because we're the ancient ones, you know, returning to set the matter straight. And with that, thank you for letting me share that.
Yeah, you know, y'all hit it on the head, and like some of the policies as far as dealing with Kentucky, like for one, Kentucky is a open carry state, right? Then Kentucky is also a stand your ground. So you can open carry and you can stand your ground. And then they allow no knock warrants. So let's just look at this from a common sense perspective. I can open carry. It's a stand your ground. Now we know with Trayvon Martin, with this what stand your ground means. And now the cops can serve no knock warrants. So you telling me now that people can come in my house, kick my door in without knocking, without identifying that they're police officers, right? And I'm in an open carry state, and I have the right to stand my ground. So you put them policies together, and you have a no knock warrant policy. You're asking for disaster. That is disaster, like it's waiting to happen. You can't tell me I can stand my ground and somebody can kick my door in as police officers and don't announce and do the no knock warrant. You're asking for trouble. Like common sense would tell you this should be going on all the time. But with some of these policies and the way they are laid out, it's set up for complete failure, right? Because, I mean, just think about it. Like North Carolina is one of the stand your ground states. Like we have the right to stand our ground in North Carolina, and we can open carry in North Carolina. So can you imagine being in your home, you got license, and somebody kick your door in?
And you busting that motherfucking pistol?
Yeah, like that's what you're gonna do.
That's what you gotta do.
So once you bust your gun, and they say it's police officers, but they didn't identify because it's a no-knock warrant. The police in return are gonna
But
return.
that's against the law. You can't do that. You can't just kick nobody's door in without a search warrant, without recognition, you know, without proper, you know, introduction. You just can't do that. So if you do that, then you ask for whatever is on the other side of that door. You understand?
But when they
kick my door in, I'm gonna be waiting there, and you know, everybody, the kids, everybody gonna be holding and loaded, you know, like, you know, what's up? And on God, you know, and I don't have any kids yet, and I'm telling you, yeah.
I just think that they asked for that, man. With that no knock warrant, and I'm gonna tell you, a no knock warrant means they can kick your door in without announcing who they are. They don't have to tell you they're police officers.
Okay, well, and then you can hold and do what now? What's the law?
With no knock warrant, mean they can just come to your house because they already got the warrant prior to coming to your premises. So that means that they can just kick your door in without announcing, because they say that the purpose of the no knock warrant is once they alert you to who you are, people start running and stashing. They start flushing the drugs. hiding stuff. So they came up with this no-knock warrant. So instead of announcing, so they can surprise you, so you can't stash nothing.
So they show up at everybody's house like that, or do they just show up at your house if you doing,
They gotta have sufficient amount of evidence in order to get a no-knock.
Yeah,
it's just not something that they can just do. Yeah, they gotta have a great amount too. So like, but the thing is, like when you said earlier about it's not legal, it is legal for them to come to your house without stating under the no-knock warrant. That's when it's legal if they have that type of warrant. But
it's very legal.
Yeah.
But if you in a stand your ground state and the open carry state, and you telling me somebody can kick my door in and I can stand my ground though, like you asking for trouble.
No, but the stand your ground laws, the stand your ground laws is not extended out from civilian to police officer.
But
it's for civilian to civilian.
It's a difference when a police officer identifies and you know it's a police officer.
Yeah,
but when warrant, they don't identify with who they are. So they just go in. So you don't know that they police officers.
Yep. But that's why I stated, like earlier when we had this conversation, months ago, I stated that that's the reason they dropped them charges against Kenneth Walker, because there's no way you can charge him with knowingly shooting a police officer if he didn't know it was a police officer. So you still have that right. It's like if a police officer come in my house and I don't know it's him, and I'm in a state that allows me to be able to shoot an intruder without, because like in Virginia, you can't shoot somebody if they come in your house. They have to you have to know that they're coming in there with the intent to kill you, or you have to see them with the gun. That's the only way you can do it in Virginia. But in some states, you can shoot them if they come to your house. Now, if I'm in a state like that, and that state also have the laws where, that law, basically the law where you can shoot somebody if they come to your house and the police don't introduce themselves and I shoot them, I won't get charged for that, because you can't charge me for knowing it was a police officer. And that's the reason they dropped them charges against him, because how you gonna prove that he knew he was a police officer? Because that's what the charge is based on. It's based on him actually knowing it was an officer and he fired at him. But he didn't know that, so they dropped them charges. He won't gonna get that charge. And Breonna Taylor, her family was gonna get that money regardless. That's how they handle situations when a civilian, an innocent civilian, gets killed because they get caught in some crossfire from an officer. That person is still gonna get paid. Like, where their family, if they die, their family is still going to get paid, because this is just how it works. Because it's like, look, the police officers out here to do their job, and in the midst of them doing their job, they didn't have the intent to kill you, being that another person that they was trying to stop from doing bodily harm to the community or to them, and they have that right to pursue them in that such a use of force. When that use of force is used, it was an accident that caused you to die, so we're going to pay your family out. And they call it a wrongful death because they're acknowledging that morally it is wrong. But lawfully, we set up a system where police officers are allowed, in certain circumstances, that if they accidentally kill someone, they don't get held accountable for it. Now, if it was a situation where a guy was holding somebody hostage and the police officer shoot and kill that person, that police officer is going to jail. But they didn't know Breonna Taylor was there. So it's like that. It was a situation, and I seen a couple people mention that, if it was a white girl, they would get charged. But you can look up a situation where a white girl, she was 12 years old, her name Sierra Meyer. You can look her up. The officer, he wasn't a full police officer. He had the capacity of an officer, and he can do certain things officers can do. And he was serving a eviction notice. So when he came to the house, he served the eviction notice. Her stepfather came to the door with a gun and pointed at the police officer. The police officer shot at him. The bullet went through his arm and hit the little girl and killed the little girl. And she was white, 12 years old. He didn't get no time for it. Wow. And that's why I be trying to tell people, like, y'all keep trying to make this as a black and white thing, but you don't hear about all these other cases because the media, they focus on. Oh, go ahead.
I ain't gonna let you do that, bro.
Carl. Wait a minute, man. I got. Yeah.
When you brought the color into it.
Yeah, bro.
No. That's what I'm saying.
Carl, bro.
Hold on. Let me say this before you go on. Hold on. Let me say this. I brung that in because I don't look at these situations as black and white. Other people do. But when I seen this happen, I seen a lot of people saying, oh, if it was a white person, he would have got charged. But it's cases out there where cops accidentally shoot white people in the same manner and they don't get charged.
Okay, well look.
Okay, Carl.
But we care about the black
y'all
and
making
the
it.
white.
Let me say, Seth. Okay, go ahead.
Who is this speaking?
This
Who's
Carl
this speaking?
Jones. His name Carl. But I want to say this. Hey, Carl.
Go ahead.
I can show you instances of black police officers killing white civilians and getting indicted, arrested, and charged within 2 days. Prime example, that cop in Minneapolis, the one that shot the white
Somalian guy.
the Somalian guy. It was instant. It wasn't no 2-3 days later. It was instant. Like 2 days after that, they arrested him.
Yeah.
So,
Can I mention something about that?
My thing is this though. When we start trying to say, okay, throwing the race, ain't nobody put the race card in it. You brought it in here. You understand this? Now?
Yeah, but I was just bringing in it because of something that I was just speaking on something else.
My only thing is when you start throwing that in, you're not gonna win the conversation, bro. Like
I'm not trying to win the conversation
to say that
it's always about race. You know, you have to understand. You have to understand that everything lawful is not legal, and everything legal is not
legal.
lawful.
You mean it's not morally right? What you mean?
What I'm saying.
Just because something is legal don't necessarily make it right either, man. Slavery was legal, man. You know what I'm saying? Wait a minute. Then even on top of that, if you look at the Christian, if you look at the law, look at the Christian black codes. It was legal to treat black Christians one way, but not a white Christian another way. So yeah, those things were legal. So you know what I'm saying. A lot of things can be legal, but it don't make no things right, and it's because of the system that's perpetrated. The system was never designed for us, my brother. There's instances of white people walking around with AK-47s, going to these riots and all this stuff. Cops ain't doing nothing to them. The moment a black dude come out here with any type of gun or a bunch of us on a corner, it's automatically chaos. There's tons of videos where white people will fight the police, charging them with knives and guns. What do? They pull out the taser, they pull out the bats. With a black person, real quick, we're gonna pull out the gun and we're gonna let it loose and we're gonna kill them. That's automatic. And then wait a minute, hold on, pause.
Can you think I can finish?
No. I'm sorry, Elder. I'm sorry, Elder. Go ahead.
Because I was making the point that everything legal is not lawful, and everything lawful is not legal. Then all of a sudden I got caught out, you know, in the traffic. What my point was this, right? You know, if we don't address this on a policy level, it doesn't matter. We could talk about this now to doomsday, because you know everything is etched in policy, and a lot of times they're not going to share the policy with the general public. You understand? Unless we're there as a part of a team putting that policy together. Okay, so now when we address you know police behavior, it's got to be to the point where we understand the policy behind it. Because true indeed, right? When they really look at us, we're still property. We're still property in the eyes of law enforcement, because according to the 14th Amendment, right, a 14th Amendment made citizen slaves out of those so-called African Americans that were getting freed out of slavery back in the 1800s. You know, they when they passed the 14th Amendment, right, it made us legally property. So now, if we don't get to the bottom of like I said, the policy, changes and know exactly how they're supposed to respond and act within a situation, then we're gonna be chasing our own tails, man. Because trust and believe. It's about race and it's about property.
All right, let me say this, man. Look, I didn't say everything that is lawful is right. He said anything, if it's legal, then that doesn't make it lawful. And that in itself is wrong. What he probably meant to say is just because it's legal is not right. Because for something to be legal is a law that makes it legal. That's why I was just trying to correct him on maybe he misspoke. I was not saying that just because something is legal, that means it's right. Now, back to what you said, when you said about the cop, the Somalian guy in Minnesota, y'all arguing these things from a low resolution. You have to look at the details of these stories. That lady called the cops. The cops came on the scene. She walked to the car. He shot her. That was it. What do you like? What? How are you going to argue that he wasn't in the wrong? It was like, yo, she called the cops. She walked out to the car and she was because she was the one that called the cops to report a sexual assault crime. The cops come to the scene. She's walking to the car and the cop pull out a gun and shoot her. It's like, you got to look at the details. We have to stop making arguments based off of. Come on, King. You cut me off, King. You cut me off, man.
Because I'm saying don't go down this route because it's not going to end good. I'm trying to ride with you. But
yeah, I feel you.
Like, every time you give me an example, I can take you to New York when they called. When the brother called about his brother having a psychotic episode. They put the bag over the man's head and killed him right out there in the ground. Like when you go down this route, what I'm trying to get you to understand, when you go down this route,
King.
This route is not. It's not going to add up. And I'm not even trying to go there. Like I don't.
Yeah. But you're not listening. See, that's the problem.
As black people, we shouldn't be sitting here arguing over the merits of some cases, and when we see this and we know historically this has been happening to us, man. Like I think
that's not King. Look, listen. You have to look at every single case individually. Period. That's how you run a fair, just system. You can't just say, oh, it was a white person, it was a black person, automatic racist, get them out my face. That is just wrong, King.
So you saying wait a minute, Paul.
The details.
You saying this system? You saying the system is fair and just? That's what you're saying?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, so tell me what kind of system. Tell me what kind of system that we live in as black people. Is it in our favor or is it against our favor? Answer me that question.
All right, let me answer it, King.
Okay, go ahead. The system that we live in does not benefit black people, bro.
Listen.
Go ahead and speak. Go ahead. Say your piece, man. Say your piece.
The system can be as good. Listen, no one can create a perfect system. So we have a system. Is it flawed? Yes. Do the system affect black people? Yes. Do the system affect white people? Yes. Do it affect everybody get affected by the system? This the problem. You don't look at the details. Y'all are just looking at it like, oh, another black person just got shot by a cop. Damn. It's like you have to look at the details. You can't just gloss over it like that. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. These are low resolution arguments that you're making. You have to look at the details.
I can't go back for this dude, man. Because if he can't see, if you can't see,
answer me this question.
No, bro. No.
Show me
you talking off a tree. That's what you talking at, man. You talk. Yes, you are. You talking off a tree, brother. This some crazy mess you talking about.
Show me
the law. Don't tell me how the law been.
All right, y'all. Listen, I have to mute y'all because I have people that's hitting me up saying that we can't hear nothing because everybody is talking over each other, y'all. So we can't talk over each other because it's not gonna work. And that's why I really didn't want Chavis, because y'all don't know this Chavis, call us Chavis. I really didn't want him to go down this route because I knew the way this was gonna end. And we don't need it to end like this, right? So I'm gonna unmute y'all, Mike. But look, each person, you have to respect the person talking. And at least give the person talking. I'm gonna give y'all 2 minutes, man. 2 minutes apiece to say what you have to say. And then the next person can go. But we can't all talk at once. And also we got another person that joined on Crump Snatcher. This is first time ever being on the show. I wanted the brother to introduce himself. And I'm letting him know that we're talking about Breonna Taylor. We're talking about the aftermath of the whole situation, right? So after this, after Crump introduce himself, y'all can get back into it. But look, only 2 minutes apiece, man, because we don't need to be yelling. And I got to catch myself. Because, Carl, I cut you off, and I'm sorry, Chavis. I shouldn't cut you off, man. So, because we all passionate about this stuff. But I'm going to try to be fair. All right, so go ahead, Carl. I want you to introduce yourself, and then we'll jump right back into the conversation.
Peace and love to all the family. I am your humble brother, Crump of Crump TV on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I am humbled and honored to be amongst the family. Peace and love to the host and all the other people in the panel.
All right, thanks, brother. Thanks for being here. All right, Chavis.
Peace, peace.
You can get back in it, man.
I got one question for everybody on the panel, and let's just be honest. In 2020, show me one law that is on the books that is afforded to white people or any other race other than black people. Just show me that.
I think that's the wrong question.
I got you. Look up the Dred Scott case and see has it ever been overturned. There you go. The Dred Scott case. It has never been overturned by the Supreme Court.
Good one.
What do the Dred Scott case states?
You don't know?
That we are slaves and not humans.
It says that no black man has a right that a white man has to no black person have any rights that the white man has to honor. This is about a slave that went to a free state. He tried to get his freedom. He went to court, and when he went to court, the court denied him his freedom and made him go back to a slave master. That case has never been overturned in the Supreme Court. So that is still on the books.
All right, let's do it like this. So show me one black person that can't operate in the capacity of a white person. Because I bought a house, I own land, I start businesses. Show me something that we can't do that white people can't do in this system. Nobody is denying the history of it. That's the brother question. Yes.
Could I ask the brother, because it seems like you're a moving target. Where were you going with that first point?
But the point I'm trying to make is, if you listen, okay, so we what we argue about is what some people make arguments about, that black people don't have the rights that other people have. And what I'm trying to say is, show me a law that says black people can't do this and they can't do that. And then you have to show me that law being acted out in society. Because that is not acted out. Scott? I know. Just I'm trying. It's not being acted out in society. I just told you that. Look, there's nobody that show me one person that went to go do something that a white person can do, and they said, no, you can't do this because you're black.
That's
an old. No. They do not operate under that.
No, right. Well, white people are more smarter than you're giving them credit for. You're oversimplifying it. It's called benign neglect. They're not going to say these things. That's like Fight Club. Mm-hmm. The number one rule of Fight Club is we don't talk about Fight Club. So by your analytics, Fight Club doesn't exist because white people don't talk about it.
No, that's not what it is. Look, okay, one right that a white person have. A white person can go out and purchase property. Okay, that means if that was so true, that means no black people would be able to own any property.
No, that was so true. Hold on,
hold on. Hold on. So how do you determine if black people have certain rights that white people don't have? You have to enact it. You have to try to act. Okay, when somebody say black people can't do certain things white people can't do, the way you can test to see if it's true is to try to do it. And if they stop you from doing it, then you can say, oh, hold on now, y'all have.
Chavis, hold on, Chavis, because you've been going. Chavis, hold on. So now, first you asked for a law. I gave you a law, something that's on the books, and you ran from that. So I
didn't. I'm still on it.
I'm saying that's what you did because you ain't said nothing about that law. You ran from it, and hold up. Now you're moving the goalpost to something else. See, you can't deal. Okay, before you move to talk about something else, deal with the Dred Scott case. Explain to us why it has never been overturned.
Okay, I don't care about it being overturned. There's a lot of laws that haven't been overturned. Like, for instance, you could go downtown and beat your wife on the court step. That never been overturned. But look, I'm gonna get back to the Dred Scott thing. No, but I'm about to tell him this. I don't care about if they ever overturned the law. This is what I'm talking about. You said white people in the Dred Scott case, it is stated that black people don't have rights that white people have. That's what you stated.
I said that white people have to respect and honor. I didn't say they don't have rights. I said honor.
Okay, so they don't have to respect it or they don't have to honor it. That means if I come to somebody with a contract or something like that, the way you honor the contract is by giving me what we discussed in the contract and me giving you what I discussed in the contract. So that means what you have to show.
You're trying to simplify. No, because you're trying to simplify all of that case. You're trying to simplify that one case dealing with one statement, and you don't even know what the whole case is dealing with. It's an entire case, man. It's an entire case. And the basic, but
Okay.
that has never been. Also, the 3/5 human has never been overturned.
Oh my
Like
God,
this is
bro.
I'm saying, has it been
See, that's what I'm talking about. It
Let's
don't
move on
have
to
to be
somebody else. There's too many
overturned.
people for us to focus on this one guy. Let's go to
Like,
somebody else.
It don't have like what
So
the hell?
I want him to get his point across. Go ahead, Chambers. Go ahead. I want him to
Look,
get
man,
go ahead.
this is what I'm trying to tell you. If you were trying to say a law is in effect and it's actually affecting black people at that time frame, you would have to show that they are practicing that law, King. You have to show that. And from what we can see, they are not practicing no Dred Scott law that black people don't have rights to certain things that white people do.
Yeah, they
Or the
definitely are.
3/5 of a person.
They
Like,
definitely
come
are.
on, King. Well, it ain't being practiced against me.
Well, ignorance is no excuse of the law.
Okay, but it ain't being practiced against me.
Well, I mean, you don't know that, but you're using your instant
God damn.
your ignorance as the barometer.
Oh
Just
my
because
God.
you don't know something's happening doesn't negate the reality that it's happening.
True.
And just because and that doesn't prove that it is happening.
No. You're moving. You're a moving target. That's not the point. The point is that you don't know about it, but that doesn't equate that it's not happening. That's
And it
all
don't
I'm
mean
saying.
that it is happening. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay,
Just because you don't know about
okay,
it doesn't mean
all
it's
right.
actually
Okay.
happening.
All right.
Well,
asked.
let's just move on.
All right.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, you got to move on, man.
And
You got to
show
move
him
on, man.
You
Yeah,
show
he's
him a
not going
law.
anywhere. He's just
You
rambling.
show him a law, and he moves the goalpost. Move on to somebody else
Answer the
because
question.
he wants to be argumentative. Okay, it's simple. It's simple. He asked you to show him a law. You showed him the law, right? You showed him the law. Dred Scott has never been overturned. That's a law. Okay, but instead of speaking on that, he's going somewhere else.
Right.
Come on, you can't have a conversation like that.
I
and not
spoke on it, bro.
one.
I spoke on it.
You only
There's
spoke
no
on
rights.
one aspect
I
of
haven't
it,
seen
brother.
nobody. I've never seen nobody out here practice any type of law that a black person can't do that a white person can. Period.
Just
And that's
because you
exactly
didn't
what
see it doesn't mean anything, though.
Okay, well, show me that, and I will fight against that. But to me, it's not happening to me.
Okay, so Chambers. All right, Chambers. We are all wrong and you're right. It's simple, man.
No, I didn't say that, King.
No.
I didn't
Listen,
say that.
Chambers. Just hear me out, brother. Listen, brother. We're on the same team here. Check me out. It's okay, bro. It's okay, man. You don't see it. It's okay, man. You don't have to see it. You get what I'm saying? Everybody is different. We all different, bro. So everybody not gonna see the same thing. I may see black, you may see red. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna enjoy life. We're gonna move on though, because I see this is not. It ain't gonna go nowhere. We're not gonna bicker. See, this is the thing, man. As black folks, we've been bickering with each other over stuff that's affecting us, and it's beyond that, man. There's no need for us to bicker and differ with each other over stuff that we feel like is affecting us negatively. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to put that energy there. We're going to put this energy somewhere else. So with that being said, we're going to change the subject. All right. We'll leave Breonna. Do anybody else got anything, closing remarks about? Well, I still want to deal with the Breonna Teller though, because I don't know, somehow we just left Breonna Teller situation. It was so well, but anybody else want to jump on the Breonna Teller situation? Go ahead, Crump.
Yeah, someone, I don't know if it was you or someone else, but it said aftermath. I'm not sure if we're in the aftermath of Breonna Taylor or we're in the dead heat of the Breonna Taylor thing. That's all I was going to say.
I meant the aftermath. I meant the aftermath of the decision, after the no decision. You know, I just didn't clarify that when I put aftermath. But you know, like I said earlier, you know, the settlement money was basically, you know, the admission of guilt by the state that a life was lost. And as far and that's why I brought up the laws, because you know, the elder Ramesu was saying that we can fuss all we want to until we start changing the laws. And that's why I brought up the no-knock warrant and the fact that it's an open carry state and it's a stand your ground state. You know, it just seems like to me, when you got these three things and you put it all together, you are asking for disaster. You're asking for problems to happen when you have these three things in that state that all at once. So I feel like, I feel like that's something that they need to look into. If you're gonna have open carry and a stand your ground state, you can't have no knock warrants. It's like something. It's no way. I don't see how. I just see that as you asking for it to happen. I just see that. And so that's something I have brought up as far as policies. Something as far as policies that may need to be looked at when it comes to that situation with Breonna. Y'all can jump in. Anybody? Or we can move on. Go ahead, Crump.
Well, I don't. There was something said by a famous sophist from the Greco-Roman antiquity, and they said the more laws that a government has only alludes to how corrupt the people are. If you have to make a law that says don't rape the dogs, it's a reflection on a society that has an issue of raping dogs. And I don't think we are necessarily going to fix our problems with, these particular types of laws. We know that the major flaw is that the laws disproportionately affect us more than them. So no matter what policies we put in place, I think, guns don't murder people. The gun is only as good as the person holding the gun. There's this thing within business. It says, if you have a problem on a machine, there's an 80% chance it was user error. There's a 20% chance that it was the actual thing that went wrong. There's nothing wrong with the laws, and you can create a billion laws, but we're dealing with savages. Moses told us we can't reform the beast. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us we can't reform the beast. And I think what we're trying to do is to create laws, policies, codes, statutes to help reform the beast. And while they're not going to honor their own laws, they're going to use those things as an excuse to over police our communities.
This master, I agree with everything that Crump said. You can never change anything if you're looking at it from the outside. You can observe it from the outside, but there's certain things that you will not see within that discourse community because you're not a part of that community. You just won't see it. And trust and believe, a lot of these courtrooms and with these lawyers and cops, they all know each other. They all get it. They all know each other. They all know who do, things that are both right and wrong. But the truth of the matter is, there's really only one we're really going to see any type of change within America. Two ways. Again, as I said earlier, if we follow what Elijah Muhammad said and Marcus Garvey, and there was plenty of other people who said the same things as they said. So let me just give credit and honor to that. But another way to do it also is you have to raise your family up in a certain way. So for us, like Black people, you have to raise your kids up and let them understand, like, look, with your life, I want you to go and to be a senator, go be a judge, go be a mayor, go be a governor. You get what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with letting our kids play basketball. That's great. Go for it. Shoot for, go for it. Put them in positions where they're really good with business or whatever it is. Put them in positions that's going to allow your family to have power. When you don't have anyone when you don't have anyone you connected to have any type of power, you basically losing war. You don't have no ammunition to fight. But if you have, like, your uncle worked for the FBI, district attorney is your brother-in-law, et cetera, then you have key people in positions that will be able to do favors for you. You understand what I'm saying? And for a majority of us as Black people, we don't have that. You know what I'm saying? We just don't. We don't own a lot of stuff. How many of us, like, if your tire goes flat and you need to buy a new tire, lo and behold, and do you have the money saved up? Is there a family member that you can go to in order to get those things, or something that was to happen to you legally? Do you know somebody in the courtroom that hey, look, this person owed my daddy a favor, so you know what, you such and such kid, I'm gonna let you go because I know such and such. How many of us have that? And for a lot of Black people, we do not. And so and this is my advice. People may agree. I believe that we should our kids up to put them in positions to be able to help people. I mean, law, et cetera, but trust and believe, man, people do this stuff all the time. I have seen it happen. Do it all the time for people, man. But anyway, a piece.
I see you, brother Crump. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I think one of the takeaways to be kind of one of the takeaways for me from the Breonna Taylor thing is that we can't rely on anyone else to do anything else for us. And as long as these people do us a favor, we cannot complain. Until we have the self-motivation to police our own communities, you know, we're kind of looking a gift horse in the mouth when we ask them to do something that we can be doing for ourselves. We can't complain about what those teachers teach our children until we take accountability to say, hey, I think it's time I teach my own children. But as long as we ask these people to do us a favor and teach our children and feed our children and police our neighborhoods, then we have no right to complain about something that we can do for ourselves, but we still rely on others to do. I think that's probably one of the biggest takeaways. And if you go and look at the Indian community in terms of the reservations, on the reservations, they don't deal with that because they police their own communities. Just as Master Yu was saying, if you go to the reservations, they also not only police their communities, they judge their communities. They you know, within the probations, they're the ones, the probation officer looks like them, the teachers look like them. And that's the only way that you're gonna get any real closure or solutions. But if we cry to them to, hey, do us a favor, but do it this way and do it better, I'm done with the handouts. And I think we get what we deserve when we allow them to do that. Our sisters can't complain about going into those weave shops and getting their tails beat by the Asians. Sis, get out the weave shop. Stop doing your business with them. Stop paying your tax dollars to them. If we can't pay our tax dollars to organizations that look like ours, we deserve every one of our children to be killed as long as we do business with the beast.
You know, and since y'all on this sentiment, I'm gonna ride this out on because doing for self and actually starting to flex our muscle as a group of people is the next move. And now that we're doing this, I'm gonna bring in the Vlad TV situation because this is an opportunity where now you have somebody that's outside of our community that wanted to disrespect one of our elders. And, you know, it seemed like now some people have been told us about Vlad, you know, Tariq Nasheed told us about him. Dame Dash.
Dame Dash, yep.
You know what I'm saying? Some of our people in the community have been told us about Vlad, and now it's a move to eliminate Vlad and not mess with Vlad no more as far as going on his platform, because they was asking him to apologize to the minister for what he did. And basically Vlad said, you know, the only reason Nick Cannon apologized was because they hurt his pockets. And basically Vlad said, he told them that basically last month he got the most views he ever had. So in short, he's saying he is not going to apologize to the minister because we can't affect his pockets. That's basically in short what Vlad has said. So now it's a campaign wherein everybody is on code and saying that they are no longer messing with Vlad TV. I'm gonna play a video. I'm not gonna play too long of it, just to let y'all see. Now these are two of Vlad's biggest supporters. They've been on the platform a lot. Lord Jamar and Godfrey. You know, they've been up there a lot, and basically, you know, they talk about how
just so he can get numbers on his.
He actually didn't say that. Like he said it could just be something on the phone or whatever the case, or they can shoot it and put it on there, whatever the case, however they want to do it. Like, but he didn't necessarily want to monetize it in that kind of sense. And I think a lot of people
unapologetically. Right. So you're going to take that piece of information and shit on everything else that I did. And that, so I'm saying, are you really a supporter of me, or you just wait?
Hold up, y'all. I'm trying to get to the right spot.
So now subsequently after that show,
Mm-hmm.
people like West Coast Cam, shout out to West Coast Cam.
Cam.
People like Royce the 5'9", shout out to Royce the 5'9",
5'9", yes.
actually saw our video and were flabbergasted. Like, what the fuck? How dare he try to sit down with the minister? Who the fuck does he think he is? And rightly so. I mean, a lot of people, that's a great way to feel. Like, yeah, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, why do you think you're that important? Why has your ego inflated you to the point where you feel like you're important enough to meet with, you know?
So I'm gonna stop this, y'all, because I don't want to play it all. But in short, family, in short, they not messing with Vlad TV no more. The word is out that nobody go up there and mess with Vlad TV, since he's saying that we can't affect his pockets. So, you know, in the spirit of brothership and us all coming together and showing, because it do seem like it's a shift in us in a lot of different areas. And I think Vlad TV may be the first casualty of us coming together and flexing our muscle and deciding that, you know, because we made Vlad TV. Vlad TV he came up off conscious Black people and starting beefs and stuff. You know, we made his platform what it is. So now that he feel like he's untouchable, maybe he's gonna be the first casualty of Black folks deciding that we're not gonna support him and we're gonna bring him down. With that being said, I'm gonna open up y'all mics, man. Y'all can all chime in on the Vlad situation. Go ahead, Crump. I see you. Unmute your mic, bro.
Sorry, I'll say he's the first one in recent history, but the thing that burns me up about Martin Luther King is that the only thing we remember about him is the march and the speech. They never talk about the Montgomery bus boycott. What was so important about that? When we're dealing with the Montgomery bus boycott, Montgomery, Alabama was the 8th biggest metropolitan city in America. If you just fathom how many streams of income a city needs to be the 8th biggest metropolitan city in the United States, that's pretty big. So now all they did was take down one itty bitty, what seemed to be not essential to the city, part of the city, and that collapsed the city. So when we take away any part of the house of cards, any part, the whole thing topples. So now with that said, I've been said this, and you know, the only thing, I'm happy that we're doing it with Vlad, but I got to be honest, this is like picking up a grit of sand off the beach and saying that we're making progress. Vlad has done nothing but exploit our people. Newport Cigarettes has done nothing but exploit our people. Versace, Gucci, Nike, Reebok, Hen Dog, Seagram's Gin. I remember with what was that guy from Star Wars name? Billy D. Williams, Colt 45. What this is, and you know, pardon me to all the family on the panel and the listening audience. This is the nigger shit that really irks me. Black people get behind all these white dollars and white businesses and this and this and that, and these people don't never give us nothing back. But we're so proud to support them. The reason I can't take the Moors seriously, because the Moors will spend $100 on a pair of shoes, but won't invest in self. The Nation of Islam, the reason I can't take them seriously, because I got too many brothers I see from the Nation of Islam, they'll spend $20,000 on a used BMW, but the nation as a whole can't replace the government WIC program. We need one of our programs to be so strong that the government can't even come against our people to say, hey, you want to go with WIC, women, infants, and children, or you want to go with the Black Panther Party because they're doing it over there. We don't have any programs like that because we as a people don't understand that everything we do is political. We will sit here and spend our dollars on Nikes, but we don't understand when we spend our dollars on Nikes, that's a political move. We'll go and watch watch CNN, but we don't understand when we watch CNN, that's a political move. We'll go out here and marry a Becky or marry a Cody and don't realize that's a political move. Our people have to be the most weak-minded people in terms of politics, and they shit on us every single way. We deserve Vlad. We've earned Vlad. Vlad is a gift to our community from our community. They will never do to you. No, I'm sorry. No, when I was a child, my father said, the only thing they will do to you is what you let them do to you. We let Vlad come in here and rape our culture, just like Eminem, just like all the other culture vultures. So with that said, I can't blame Vlad. I got to look in the mirror and say, we as a community have gotten to a place where people like Vlad can come in and shit on us willingly. And make money hand over fist, and we just sit here and kiki with the beast. That's all I got to say.
Facts, big facts. Sister Lenora.
Yes.
What you got to say about it?
I'm just listening.
Elder Ramessa, you still here?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening. You know, I like to say that what Crump just eloquently described is real, and until we get to that point of really doing for self, and you know, we just have to keep banging that nail, home. Until we begin to do for self, we're going to continuously be chasing our own tail, man. And that is so important. And I'm talking about now. It's important. We have to put our low petty differences aside, and start flexing our muscles. And the only way we can do that is that we have to present on a unified front called nationalism. And if we don't do that, man, our next generation will be lost. It's really up to us right now. And like I said, we have the power and we have the intelligence to do it. We can articulate, we can describe the picture, and we can utilize the things to bring that picture into fruition.
Hey, you so right, Elder. Just the veggie back. I'm an optimistic person. I'm very optimistic, right? So, I see a step forward as a step in the right direction. It may be 50 steps late, but it still is a step in the right direction. And the fact that we're here actually talking about this is a step in the right direction. The fact that the brother may have a different opinion than us, and we still here, and we didn't allow that to dictate the show, is a step in the right direction. At the end of the day, we all, believe it or not, want our best interest. Now, you get what I'm saying? Like sometimes when we all travel different distances, or we all going different places, right? We got the same destination, but we may take different roads, right? So we may take different paths, but at the end of the day, we still got the same end result. We got the same destination where we headed, and we just may be taking different paths. So sometimes on our different paths of going where we going, we're gonna run in with odds and ends that we don't see eye to eye with, right? But what we cannot allow to happen no more is we let our odds and ends distract us from the end goal. That's what's been going on for so long. We have been allowing the differences to stop us from getting to the finish line. It's no more, the differences ain't gonna stop us no more. We're not gonna allow it to stop us no more. We're gonna deal with our differences behind closed doors, just like a regular family do. We'll fight in the backyard, but when we're in that front yard, we want a united front. You get what I'm saying? And that's what we have to start doing now. With everything that's going on. Even when it comes to the unity. Because see, when people talk about unity, it's something that my brother Tony Riddick said a long time ago when we talk about community, right? He says when you talk about community, you got two words. He said you have common and you have unity, right? So you have a group of people who are unified and have something common in general. See, the problem with us is we really don't stay in communities. To be honest, we stay in neighborhoods, right? Because a lot of the times we're not connected as one group of people in one secure location, and we're not having one common goal and we're not unified on that goal. You know, right now we're just sporadic all over. You get what I'm saying? It has to get to a point in time where we start galvanizing and getting together, meaning staying together in certain areas so we can actually do this. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna take it somewhere else. You have the people in Georgia, right? They brought them 91 acres of land. It's called Freedom Town, Georgia. What is y'all thoughts of that? I think it's like 14 to 18 families. They all put their money together. They brought like 91 acres down there in Georgia, and they trying to cultivate the land and turn it into a Freedom Town, Georgia. What's y'all thoughts on that? And y'all can unmute y'all mic. It's freestyle. Y'all can go one at a time. Go ahead. Go ahead, Crump. Unmute your mic. You can just go ahead.
Well, I do feel a little bit guilty. I don't want to capitalize. I know there's so many people, and I know y'all got an opinion. I can't be the only one, but I'll just go first. I think this, of course, as you were saying, is a step in the right direction. I too, myself, am an optimist. And I do see things getting better. However, I must be honest. Though this is the initiation of something great, this will not be the first one. What we're seeing now is publicity. They're going to have a show. What did not Jill, what did Gil Scott tell us? He told us that the revolution will not be televised. In addition to that, not what he told us, what did Muammar Gaddafi teach us? He taught us that we need to shut the hell up and move in silence. Because if we try to build something and we announce it, they will simply kill it. They will kill us. So now we would have had a USA, a United States of Africa, had he not announced it and just did it. You know, one thing our people say, you know, less talking, more doing. And he kind of shot himself in the foot by letting the people know what, you know, in the game of spades, don't let them see your hand. You know, a person who don't know how to play, who's not a strong spades player, he's going to let his card show when you can see what's in his hand. We know that we can't let the beast know what's in our hand. When the beast fights us, he doesn't fight us with his military first. He fights us with the CIA, the FBI. These are intel operation groups, NSA. These are military operations that don't use guns at all. They are exclusively based off intel. The more you know, the better you are to fight and respond. We keep talking about these things. We keep letting them know what our next moves are. So now, because they're playing chess, they're going to get 2-3 moves ahead. Now, this is what I say. Will this lead to a real little Africa, Black Town, or whatever you want to call it? Absolutely, it will. However, this particular one, it's going to be a kumbaya thing. White people are going to be there every step of the way. White people are going to live there. White people are going to gentrify it. The children are going to be like Michael Jackson's children. And by the couple of generations, this whole Black initiative will be nothing but white people, so on and so forth. It's a great thing. It's leading to a great thing next. But this particular thing is just a dog and pony show.
I'm gonna add on. I'm gonna say, you know, for everybody who put money up for that community, you know, we live in a digital age, and it's hard. And I agree with everything, you know, Crump said. Revolution will not be televised. And I think at that particular time, you didn't have technology advancing and doing the things that it's doing. And so, you know, nowadays we live in an age to where you can be inspired by social media. 30 years ago, when the market crashed, a lot of Black kids, or just basically kids in general, they know nothing about no stock market, how to invest, how to do certain things in real estate. But because things are televised, now they can look at it and say, okay, cool, I can see what they're doing publicly, and I can move in silence. So it is my hope with what these, you know, I think a sister did the initiative. So, you know, a couple of sisters did. So, you know, big hats off to them. Hopefully that will spark someone to see that in private and say, okay, cool, I want to do the same thing they're doing. But what I want to do is I want to take it and I want to do it this way. So, you know, my hope is, and I matter of fact, I already know what they have done has already lit a spark into somebody else, into quite a few people. And if we go through history, and I know a lot of times people will say, you know, black people that we're dumb, we don't do things, we 3/5 of human. They say all these things, but if you go through our history, black people have showed up and showed out numerous amount of times. You get what I'm saying? So even in the midst of Chicago, when there was gang violence, if I'm not mistaken, it was the gangs versus the hard hats or whatever it was, when I think the Vice Lords, the Black Peace Stones, and I'm not sure the other gang was, but basically in the neighborhoods, what they was doing, all the construction jobs were 97% white. And so what happened was the gang members, they all got together, went inside the church, put all the differences aside, and they worked with the community. Now, they all had disagreements, et cetera, but they laid that stuff down and they came together. We can even take it a step further with people always talk about Black Wall Street, but there were plenty of communities like Soul Cities and so many other places to where black people went and black people thrived. You get what I'm saying? The black people thrived. And so seeing this, man, it's just showing me that history can repeat itself, but it's just now, hopefully we make ourselves more aware in what we're doing. And we just, I want to see another Black Wall Street. I don't want to see it get torn down, but I want to see something 10 times as great as Black Wall Street. I really, really do, man. So, you know, I have a lot of hope. I'm very, very optimistic. I have a lot of hope in my people because I know what we're capable of. You know, every time I drive by a stoplight, you know, I smile. Anytime I see somebody who had first open heart surgery, you get what I'm saying? You know, I smile. You know what I'm saying? People say black women ain't nothing, but I say you must ain't read your history. You get what I'm saying? So I'm proud of our people. You get what I'm saying? And so, you know, we can all have our differences, you know, just like you two brothers have said. But at the end of the day, man, we are great people, man. And we're going to continue to show and prove that through eternity. And it's just a fact. And that's my piece.
I guess if nobody else is going to speak, I'll chime in if that's okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, there was a saying, I believe it was either Carter G. Woodson or Booker T. Washington, one of those revolutionaries, but it goes something like this. Our people have done so much with so little for so long that we are now qualified to do absolutely anything with absolutely nothing. So, you know, I think that's one thing our people have been continuous with. You know, we've made a mountain out of a molehill. We made chicken salad out of chicken shit. You know, we took 2 pennies, rubbed them together, and put a whole meal on the table. So, you know, this in terms of our overall history, you can't bet against the winners. And, you know, I think for at least the last 10,000 years that we can kind of look at recorded history and say, hey, you know, the one thing these people have throughout all of their tenure is a spirit of resilience. So yeah, we will get there. But I think Tupac said it best. You know, I am not the one that got us there, but I will inspire the one that gets us there. So this thing we're seeing is the prelude to whatever bigger is coming. And I think it's definitely coming. We are seeing that.
Yeah, I'm gonna chime in about that the town in Georgia because they set it up as a co-op. Now I'm part of a co-op. I don't know if y'all familiar with it. It's called Ulu, Us Lifting Us. It's based out of Atlanta, Georgia. We're very similar to that co-op. Our idea is similar to that, but my purpose of bringing up the co-op is when you have your co-op set up legally, it's ways that it can sustain itself and you don't have to worry about outside influences come tearing it down because it's set up by law. Like with us as Ulu, like only black people can join. That's it. So if I marry a white woman and I die, they're gonna sell my stocks to her. My profits of the company, my shares gonna get sold to her, so she can't inherit anything. She's gonna get brought out. So it's ways that you can do things to stop other people from coming in and tearing it up as far as your paperwork is concerned. The problem with this is you can have everything in law on paper, but if you ain't got no force, then it really don't matter, right? If you ain't got nobody to protect your community, then it really don't matter. And that's what it all boils down to. But me personally, I think they're gonna succeed, man. I think that I'm sorry, but you're not moving in silence in America. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. It's no way. Even when you purchase the land, you have to pay taxes on the land. It's deeds dealing with land. So no matter what, the town or the state is gonna know. It's hard for me to believe that we can do certain. Now I'm talking about in America now. I'm not talking about in other places, but in America, it's kind of hard for me to believe that we would be able to do that without them knowing. Now, it may not be publicized, meaning it may not be talked about in the news, or it may not be on social media, but the government is going to be knowing what's going on. And that's what I believe. I believe that we're at the point now, like Master you said, with technology, I really believe it's too hard. I think it's beyond doing stuff and not nobody seeing it or not knowing it, and you're going to sneak up on somebody. It ain't happening. It ain't happening in 2020. Go ahead. You can unmute your mic, Crump.
Yeah, I think it is kind of rather easy to hide things, especially from Black people. I myself am just utterly amazed at how in the dark we are about so many things. I've done my own my polling of people. I went around, I think I've asked more than 100 children, where does milk come from? The number one answer, take a wild guess at what more than 100 children who I've personally polled with the answer that where milk comes from. Walmart. How in 2020 does the majority of the children believe milk comes from Walmart versus a cow? That's because, our people are so removed from the reality. Now, the thing with this city, they publicized that. That wasn't something that just kind of went whatever. They were seeking attention. In addition to that, that city, those Black people over there, they're singing Kumbaya with white people, and they're already doing it right now. They're in bed with home TV. I'm not sure if anybody on the panel is aware of that, but they're in bed with home TV. So it's not like it can't be hidden. They are going out of their way to say, hey, look at us, look at us. So this is the thing about Black people. We're more so ego. It's about vanity. It's about likes. It's about shares. It's about visibility. Look at me, this and this and that. So now we've got a lot of the family. Now, matter of fact, gangsters move in silence. A lot of what we're going to see in terms of the barbershops, whether we know it or not, family, the barbershops are moving in silence. The biggest industry that does not pay taxes are your barbers and your women who own these salons. Go Google, hashtag any city. Go hashtag on Instagram, Cali. The first thing is gonna come up, Cali barbers, because I've done it. Go hashtag Chicago barbers. Barbers and beauticians are the highest ones on social media. And the reason I point this out is because they're the biggest field that does not pay taxes. They operate and we can see them, but those type of things, we don't talk about that. Back in 2018, I was working with PayPal. PayPal hired me to do an initiative. Was it PayPal who came out with that card that you slide? So like you slide the card and you can hook it to your phone. I don't know if it was PayPal or
that was Square. It was Square.
It was Square. Square hired me. And a bunch of Black people, this is in 757 Virginia, they hired a bunch of Black people to go into the barbershops and try to get the barbershops to use Square. And the barbershop said, brother, it makes no sense for me to do that because what I'm doing in the dark will then come to the light. I don't need them to see my transactions. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying to you is we can operate in the public capacity and still have our our privacy to it. Our barbers and beauticians do it all the time. That's not what's happening with this city over there. This city is putting their business on Front Street. And here's the bigger issue with that. Right now, the leading demographic of children who are kidnapped are Black children. That's the leading demographic in terms of children. The leading adults to be kidnapped are Black women. We can't publicize to that level a city without publicizing the fact, bitch, we got guns. I'm sorry to even talk like that. But because this is a city being built by our women in the midst of a pandemic of child abduction. And it's women on the forefront. These women, if you know like I know, these women better come on the forefront and say, bitch, I got Black men all around me. We got guns all around us. We know what time it is. We know you're a rapist. We know you're criminals. And I know you're coming over here. I know it, but they're not saying that. They're doing the PC approach. Kumbaya, let's all just get along. And for me, I believe that will lead to another tombstone effect where we don't realize shit stink until a white person come and prove that shit really stink. And then, at that point we'll say, hey, well, that's when we'll say, let's do it like they did it. Matter of fact, I'm sorry, one more point, and then what we're seeing with that city, that's Napster. Napster's gonna die, but I promise you, Tidal is gonna replace it. Spotify is going to replace it. What we're seeing with that city is Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to die. However, XRP is going to replace it. Ethereum's going to replace it. What we're seeing with that city is the mom and pop shop, but we know Walmart will replace it. So it's going to come. It's going to be a good thing, but they're not answering some critical questions that we've already experienced. It's simply going to be another cycle where we just learn the hard way that all white people are racist. And when I say all, I mean all of them.
Neb, you wanted to say something, bro? I think I saw you.
Yeah. Yes, I'm gonna go to the light for a minute. How y'all doing?
Peace and blessings.
Peace, family, everybody. I'm enjoying the show and everything. Peace to Crump. Peace to everybody, Remember me, Crump, for House of Consciousness? Right. I've been seeing a whole lot of things, man. Not going back to Breonna for too long, but a lot of people saying that we gotta change our nationality, man. And they won't mess with us if we become a Moor. We black, African American, all this stuff is getting us killed. How y'all feel about that? Go ahead, Crump.
I mean, well, if somebody else wants to take care of that one, I want to yield the floor. But if nobody will speak, I will speak. I just don't want to. I don't want to be the only one speaking.
Go ahead, Crump.
Okay, so now when we're dealing with nationality, that is 100% accurate, but it's 100% wrong. So let's start with why it's accurate. The Moors will tell you nationality is the order of the day, but they won't explain what that means. Nationality is the order of the day means simply we must operate as a nation. We must operate as a monolith. We must find all of the things that have that link us in terms of commonality. Now, this is the thing of why it will not work in terms of being a Moor, because not even the Moors operate as a monolith. When you see the Moors are going to do the exact same thing that regular Negro, blacks, and colors do on the block and in the corner. They argue and bicker amongst each other. So this is the problem with the Moors. The Moors don't even have nationality. Nationality is not something that you're going to learn in Moor science. That's why the Moors don't have it. Nationality is not something you're going to learn in a book. That's why we can't get it in the schools. Nationality has to start at home. We must operate first as a family in one house. Then we must replicate this in several houses in the same locale. This changes a place of living to an actual community, dare I say a neighborhood. This neighborhood then transcends to a city, city transcends to a nation. We don't see that. There has never been nothing like that within the last 40 years from us. So yes, nationality is the order of the day. Simply, we must act as a nation. More science is not the key because the Moors don't even do that. So with that said, they have the information right. That's right and exact. But this is the thing. They're not even practicing it. It sounds good. But the reason it's not working, because no one, even the Moors, have practiced nationality. What that means, well, Crump, what does that look like? That means if we all wake up tomorrow morning and we all say, fuck McDonald's, that's nationality because we operated as a monolith regarding McDonald's. But we won't do that. Even the Moors would, well, I'm going to get me a burger, fuck that shit. You know, I'm sorry for talking like that. But with that said, we won't operate as a monolith. We won't operate as a school of fish. We won't operate as a flock of birds. All these birds and all these horses want to run in different directions. And as they're all running in different directions, nationality is the order of the day. All right, it sounds good, but what are you doing in real life? So with that said, it's not necessarily that we call ourselves more or that we do anything. It's the fact that we need to act cohesively.
Yeah, let me jump in, man. When it comes to the Moors and all this shit about what you want to call yourself, let me tell you something. That's out the window. Like, let's be realistic, man. Like, listen. Listen. The United States bombed Iraqi general. Iranian general in another country. Now, you talk about nationality. These people got their own country. And the United States bombed and killed one of their generals on another country's soil. And we think in America, we say we are a certain nationality that's going to stop something. Listen, man, that's fairy tale to me. That's like a cartoon. To me, that's like you thinking Popeye eats spinach, man. Like, it's a cartoon. That's not real, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, like the brother said, but also when you do that, you know what I'm saying? That's basically the African way. When you look at how the tribes, how they became tribes and how they started off, you don't start off as a tribe. You know what I'm saying? You start off as one family. I forgot the actual word, what it's called, and then you move on, and then eventually all your families come together and you one tribe, right? But in America, like the brother said, listen, we've been boycotting McDonald's since 2016, when Malik Judas Shabazz had that convention of the oppressed. This was in 2016 when Malik Judas Shabazz had a convention of the oppressed where all of us went there and we came up with certain things that we're going to do as a collective. And I'm going to tell you, I've been boycotting McDonald's ever since then. I won't even go there. But how many people around me doing the same thing? It's not that many of us, right? So, like, it sounds good, like the brother said. But in all actuality, I don't see it happening, man. Like, it's fairy tale to me. And to think that somebody ain't gonna kill you, man, they killing African nationals over here. What are you talking about? They listen, like, this government don't play. Listen, y'all, our military is a beast. Like, let me tell you, yo, like, some of this stuff, man, people just talk. It's Moors that done got killed. What was the Moor name that got shot? And I came a couple years ago, the brother got killed, and they done all that mess, and it didn't save him. It ain't gonna save none of us, man. Like, only thing gonna listen. When it comes to these laws and the implementation of these laws, it's not gonna save us, man. And the more this stuff is happening with these laws, the more they're putting more laws on the book. You know, the purpose of these laws were to keep us in slavery in the first place. You got to think, how many laws do the United States have? How many laws do we have? Like, you got to think, they criminalized almost everything about life. But it was a purpose, though. See, we looking at, okay, the result of the criminalization, but it was a purpose to why they created all these laws. It was for that free labor, to make that, it says that you are free unless you have been convicted of some type of crime. But you've been convicted, and then you're no longer free no more, right? So this stuff has always been in place. It's a part of the fabric of America, because this country was built off free labor. It was built on free labor. And regardless of we like it or not, it is still instilled in this country to today. So they still get stuff done off free labor. That's the purpose of the laws. I mean, you can't tell me unjust people come here and take these other people's land, take their whole, kill these people, bring slaves from another country to build this country, and then all of a sudden you get moral, and now you're going to put laws that we have to live by and abide by that you created. You the same people that done all these immoral things prior. Now all of a sudden you got your morality, and you telling me what I can and cannot do? Like, come on, man. Come on. Logically thinking, a logical person that's thinking would not listen to nothing that our government tell us to do. With their history. Like, how can you tell me not to speed? You suckers came over here and took a whole country. Like, how can you tell me I can't smoke weed? Like, I mean, just think, when you think from a logical, free thinking aspect, you can't tell me nothing, man. Y'all not in no right, you're not in no position to tell me what I can or cannot do. Where you get that authority from? Who gave you that authority? Dr. Kaba got a lecture where he says, we are the best of the best, man. And Dr. Kaba talks about how they took the slaves from East Africa and they marched them from East Africa to all the way to West Africa, right? And he talked about that 3-month march and how only the best of the best was able to survive that march. The weak couldn't survive it. If you was weak, you couldn't march from East Africa to West Africa. You couldn't make it. So only the best of the best was able to survive that march. Then you get to the slave dungeons. Now, if y'all ain't been to those slave dungeons, I've been. The slave dungeons is horrible, how they had them in the slave dungeons. Now, you got to think about it. It took 3 months for the boats. So, like, after you march there, now if you have to wait 3 months before the boat ship you, only the best of the best was able to survive in the slave dungeons. You pissing on yourself. You're shitting on yourself. You get what I'm saying? They got you in there and they forcing food in you because you didn't want to be there. Only the best was able to survive that. So you got the best surviving the march, the best surviving waiting on the ships to come. Then you got to survive the boat ride to America. And you see how they had them on the boats? Everybody couldn't survive that, man. So my point is, as you look at our journey from there to get on the boats, and then even once you get on the boats, you get on the slave plantations. Everybody couldn't survive being a slave. Only the strong was able to survive that. And what we do, we turn shit into sugar. We take whole chitlins, we take the guts of a pig and make delicacies. Now people eating this shit like it's steak, like it's the top of the line. But we took the worst of what they gave. Now understand, these are the same people that done all the marching, that was in the slave dungeons, that rode the boat. These are the best of the best, man. So what I'm trying to say is, if you listen to that lecture that Dr. Carver tell you, even after we got out of slavery, you got the Jim Crow whole situation. And then they put us in projects. We are the projects. Like they put us in projects, but we are the project that they studied. And
it was an experiment, yep.
We are the result. And then they put the crack in it. They put the crack in the 80s. But listen, man, the point of this, man, is like, we are the best of the best. Only a certain type of people could have survived this ordeal and still be here adding on to this society. We're still adding on to this world in itself. So everything that's going on is only, to me, it's showing a testament of our strength, but we have to start realizing it, man. We have to start realizing it, capitalizing it, and exercising our strength that's within. Because there's something about us that everybody else couldn't survive this, man. You know how many races of people or groups of people that have died out that could not have survived this? Man, even the sickle cell, the way people was dying when the sickle cell, like, yo, man, like, it's something about us, man, but the problem is we don't acknowledge it. We don't understand it and we don't manifest it. So by us not manifesting it, we have these situations that we'll keep watching happen in this world, in America. But we so numb to it now. And that's the sad part. That's the really sad part about it. We've been watching it for so long, we numb to it now. We really numb to it. So Breonna telling them can get killed. Eric Garner can get killed. Everybody can get killed. But we so numb to it that we don't even react the way an animal will react in the wild. An animal in the wild, you corner an animal in the wild, they coming out. But we don't even react that way no more because we so numb to it. We so used to it. We so accustomed to it. And it's sad, man. It's really sad. And then you can't really say what really needs to be said on nobody else's platforms. You really can't say it. But it's sad, man. It's sad and then it's beautiful at the same time because anything that don't break you, we know it makes you stronger. And we have already showed that we are so resilient that you can't, we worse than roaches. You know, they say roaches don't die there. Well, listen, we worse than them. We still having babies, man. We still having babies. I mean, don't get me on there on the birth rate of the different races. Don't get me started talking about the birth rates, man. Like, we still having babies, man. We having babies. They ain't. Look at Europe. Europe dying off, buddy. Don't get me on the statistics of these countries over there in Europe, how they are dying off, man. They willing to pay immigrants. That's why they letting immigrants come over there. They'll pay you to move in certain countries in Italy, in Europe right now. They'll pay you a monthly salary if you black or you melanated to move there and repopulate them because they dying out, man. And let me be quiet before I say some shit I shouldn't say. Y'all go ahead.
No, Seth, you definitely hit on a lot of great things, man. You're right. We are a resilient group of people, man. I mean, stuff I said earlier, man, kind of alludes to that. I think about someone Henrietta Lacks, man, who basically changed medicine. The women who did great things in NASA, you know what I'm saying? And even though Henrietta Lacks, her family received no compensation, but yet the drug company still makes how much money off them per year? But I'm not even gonna get on. I'm not even gonna get on that, man. But the issue, there's a lot of issues amongst us. There is, man. But the main thing is, man, when you are born and raised in Babylon from your inception, that's all you know. And that's why we always talk about people being a part of the 85%, man. They're blind, deaf, and dumb. But it is our fault and it's not our fault. You know what I'm saying? Like if you take a wolf and you put him in the zoo, if all that wolf knows is the zoo, that's all they know. That's all they know. So to try to take him and put that wolf or he or she back into the wild, they are not used to it. That's not what they know. And for a lot of us, man, from the moment we are born, we are given a religion, a language, clothing, and all these things that are not truly yours. But in the essence of it, you taught everyone how to use all those things. So basically, they took your information, flipped it inside out, and just regurgitated it, gave it right back to you. But all this stuff, so yeah, man. Everything that you said about us being resilient, you and Crump, and everybody else who chimed in, everything you said about us being a resilient people, man. We are. Oh my God, we're so amazingly. Oh my God, we're just so amazingly independent. But I want to get something you said earlier, Haru. You were talking about America, but America was founded on two concepts. It was founded on the concept of war and money, and all slavery was free labor. That's free money. That's how America was basically. Well, I don't want to say founded, but the new America that we live in today. And the only way that you ever going to change America is you have to do just that. Money and war, man. That's it. That's the only name of the game. And you just basically got to pick and choose whichever one that you want to do. You could talk about Malcolm X. What he wanted to do, he wanted to take money out of people's pockets. Elijah Muhammad wanted to take money out of people's pockets, but he was also ready for war. I got soldiers too. So that's why the mob of them couldn't touch Muhammad Ali. I don't know if people know that the mob of them couldn't touch Muhammad Ali. Why? Because he was protected by Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam. And so that's one thing about America we have to realize, man. Picketing in the streets and all this stuff that we're doing, it's not gonna change anything. Why? Because look how the baby was born. America was born by violence and free labor, which gave people money. And so the only way that you're gonna change any type of policy, the only time somebody really gonna listen to you is when they see you not playing.
was when I'm not gonna spend no more money with you, or if I'm out for blood. So that's my piece.
You know, if I could just chime in on Master U, if it's okay.
Go ahead.
Please do, brother.
The only reason I personally say it's our fault is I speak from a position of accountability. Now, I could easily stand on my soapbox or my milk crate or whatever you want to call it and say it's the white man's fault, because I don't think that would be a wrong statement to say. And if anyone said that, I'd be in a full agreement with you. However, I think at this point, just for me personally, a more productive approach would be just to take accountability, because you know we are the masters of this universe. We are the masters of our own destiny, and as as we think and move, so things are. This whole world, for as much as we think we have reacted to it and we're distracted, this whole world is literally operating exclusively almost off of us. I was watching the elections and it seemed like both sides, whether that be the Democrats or the Republicans, they've only pandered to the black vote. I don't see them, no disrespect to anybody, I don't see them pandering to Asians. I don't see them pandering to Jews. I don't see them pandering to Puerto Ricans. I don't see them pandering to what they call the dreamers or the Mexican class. They're only pandering to us. Even like McDonald's, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, it's only black people in those commercials, you know. So, you know, with that said, I really literally look at it like the Monopoly board, where they're playing Monopoly on our backs. But just to end it, based off one more quote that Master U brought up, you know, we are dealing with the 5% versus the 10% versus the 85%. So the last time we saw the 85% really mobilize was under Marcus Garvey, where 65% of the complete black population in America were UNIA card holders. There's never been another so-called conscious community movement that had more people. Now, keep in mind, the second one after Marcus Garvey was Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was only able to mobilize 15% of the total populace of our people. You know, so that's off. You know, there was no larger movement other than Martin Luther King. The only one I could think of would be the Million Man March. But only reason I don't compare the two is because the Million Man March wasn't as tangible. You know, we didn't see where, we're looking for this. You know, Martin Luther King said civil rights bill, justice or else was like, hey, justice or else, and nobody even knew what the or else was or what justice even looked like. Not even criticizing, just saying there was a lack of cohesiveness to that movement. So prior to the UNA, the last movement that we saw that had the same cohesiveness was the civil rights movement led by Martin Luther King, which only had a 15% participation rate. So Marcus Garvey is truly the king in terms of mobilizing 65% of the populace. Other than that, what we're dealing with now is the 85%, where most of our brothers and sisters are deaf, dumb, and blind. And, you know, at the most, they're just internet activists where they're going to hit a like button or sign a petition on change.org, but there's not going to be any meat and potatoes to what they're going to do. So with that said, I want to say that we might not need that approach anymore. Maybe this is the time where the 5%ers, the poor righteous teachers, we just lead the movement to where it's kind of like the 13 families. We don't need the whole 85%. They can remain dumb, deaf, and blind and be ignorant for the most part. But as long as they got the right people guiding them, they can be okay. So I'll end it by saying this. We don't need a resurgence from Black America. We don't need to get everybody on board concerning the 85%ers. We need this group of people on the panel right now to be the leaders of the new school, so to speak.
Now, brother Crump, you make an excellent point. And I'm just chiming in real quick if anybody want to
Hey,
hop in.
Master you. I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
one question, man.
Yeah, go
Before you
ahead,
get in.
Yeah,
Y'all
go ahead, brother.
Y'all doing your damn thing out here. I got a listener ask me a question. Brilliant brothers and sisters. I got a listener got a toothache. What's a good quick fix for the good natural for a toothache?
Clover oil.
Clover oil.
Yes.
Okay. Where can you get that from? Walgreens or something? Walmart.
I don't deal with white people. I deal with Big Mama. She got clover oil at the house.
Okay.
But and even if you were to get it from white people, it probably wouldn't work because it'll be diluted with oil or alcohol or some shit. You're not getting 100% anything from them.
Facts. Okay.
But
somebody had a question.
But let me just give you a name, since I recognize a lot of people in here being from the 757. Shout out to the family. Marcia Owens of Common Sense. Her name is Marcia Owens. Several people in this group have been in the same room with her because I've been in there with you. So she's the one. She's my connect. And what I would really urge our people to do is really get in tune with some of these natural remedies. So I'll tell you my experience. I had an abscess. I had an infection. 9 out of 10, if you're having pain, I'm not going to say 9 out of 10. I'm going to say there's a 50% chance it's because of an abscess, some type of infection that's causing that pain. So I had an infection, an abscess underneath my molar number 32 on the bottom right-hand side. The doctor, the dentist told me this. I took Vicodin. And I overdosed on Vicodin, and the pain still would not go away. I woke up in the middle of the night. I was ready to do like that boy from Castaway and just kind of knock the bitch out. So now I had went to Marcia's house in the middle of the night. I think it was like 3:20 in the morning. She put 1 drop. This is after I took 5 Vicodin and a deuce. She put 1 drop on molar number 32. The pain went away within 2 minutes. I'd never experienced anything like that, at least not from a doctor.
Woo, yeah, we all know Sister Marcia. She's definitely got the herbs and doing her thing, little stuff. You're right, Crump. Elder Remensu.
Yes.
Any few things, Elder Remensu?
What'd you say?
You got anything to say before Master you go in?
Nah, actually, I'm just observing. The conversation is pretty productive. It's inspiring, stimulating, and it's a good look.
Right. So Crump Snatcher, you said clover oil, right?
Yes, and if I could just chime in for Elder Remesu, I wanted to say that I could imagine why Elder Remesu would be this quiet, and I would say when I get to that age, I'm going to be the same exact way. And I'm going to say this: a lot of the things that we've talked about on this call, the elder has lived through, and I've seen it firsthand. So there was an issue within our community, not going into details, and Elder Remesu had put himself in the middle. I'm not gonna say put himself in the. He was elected to be someone we could say that, hey, what are your thoughts on this? And we steered and shied away from that, and it really not only did it hurt my heart, but it opened my eyes, because he, for me personally, represents everything that we should be doing that we're getting away from. When I say handle everything in-house, I personally had beef with somebody on the internet, and it was somebody with a big platform attacking me, and I never said anything in response to them. Even though, with being the type of person that I am and the research I had, I could have just went ape shit on a guy. But he was somebody that looked like me, and I know for a fact I've got white people, Europeans, Tamahu, whatever you want to call them, looking at me, and I'm not going to attack that man in front of those people. Everything's in-house. Everything's done, amongst us. Now, if there's something between me and Set Heru on this closed thing, we can have our words, but I'll never go on Facebook Live. Yo, I'm to last night. No, I'm not doing that to him. Now the beast do it. I'm gonna tear the beast up. But I've seen Elder Remessel be the peacekeeper. We talk about the police force. Well, you know what? Why don't we have a peace force? Well, just to let the family know, Elder Remessel was the head of our peace force, not our police force, our peace force. And, a lot of the family abandoned what he brought to the table. So now for me, and these were conscious people. These were conscious people who didn't want to work with Elder Remessel. They wanted to call the cops. They don't want to work with Elder Remessel. They wanted to go to the lawyers. And for those type of people, family, when y'all go into the Asian shop to buy weave and the Asians beat your ass, I'm not marching for you. I'm not mobbing for you. I'm not speaking for you. I'm saying, good, you got everything you deserve. Because when Elder Remessel tried to guide you and give you guidance and tell you, hey, let's keep it in-house, you bucked on him. So now if the elder don't got nothing to say, I can't knock him. Because we as a people have said, you know what, we don't want our elders who know best to lead us, because we are the microwave generation and we know every goddamn thing. We're going to go outside of our elders, outside of our community, to these people who they are our spooks who sat by the door. We got spooks who sit by the door just like they got spooks who sit by the door. So that's all I want to say in terms of Elder Remessel. A lot of what I see in him represents the best of our community. And even though we give him honors amongst this panel, I think a larger part of what's going on is because there are so many brothers and sisters like Elder Remessel who we have not put at the forefront. We put in Rachel Dolezal at the forefront. We put in, these other people who aren't certified, who's a fucking Johnny come lately out of nowhere and don't got a resume. What gives, just like with Vlad, what gives you the authority to come in here and speak? The only people who can speak are the ones who when I went to LA, I stood on stage and I said, who is the oldest person in the audience? This sister stood up. I asked her for authority to speak. And, until we get back to that point, I don't think there's too much that even I have to say beyond that. I'm with Elder Remessel, and I'm going to hold my peace from here on out.
Yes, sir. Pastor you. Go ahead, Pastor you.
Oh, no, great words, man. Elder Remessel, as they say, he's worthy of his praise, man. I was just going to, what Crump was talking about, we were talking about the 85%, the 5 and the 10%, and, blind, deaf, and dumb, et cetera, et cetera. And I was saying, our kids, we're basically brought up and raised in Babylon, so that's all we know. But he did make a point and say there's a level of accountability, and he's exactly right. There is a level of accountability that we must have. And the Bible speaks about when I was a child, I spake as a child, thought as a child, et cetera, et cetera. But when I became a man, it put all childish things behind. And so there's some things that we have done when we had a childish mentality. But now, we should be striving to have an adult mind. And that adult mind should waken us up and teach us, to be righteous and to do things accordingly. So what the brother said on that was, absolutely right. And I think a lot of times for us, we will live in our excuses because it is easy to live in an excuse because then you always have something to blame for something. I always got something to blame because I never take responsibility of something for myself. And so for us as people, a lot of things that we deal with will change if we just, sat down and took responsibility for it. For example, if I'm a father and my kid cusses a lot, I can't get mad at the child. I have to look at me because one, I allowed it to happen. One, who is he or she around that is speaking this type of language around my kids that is allowing them to regurgitate it. That's an issue. So I can't go and be defensive with my child. I can say don't do that, but I have to look deeper within myself and say, look, I allowed this to happen. And then I have to take the responsibility and then take the appropriate action in order to fix that particular issue or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? And so with that being said, I know earlier I had probably said some things, to Carl Jung. And so, I extend my apologies, man. At the end of the day, man, you are my brother. We share the same blood. We may not have the same mother or father, but our ancestors are the same, man. So, you know, each one of us is entitled to our own opinion, whether that be right or wrong. But the beauty of it is that we're all allowed to have our own viewpoints and our own perspectives. And the way that you think may spark an idea in me to be able to see some things differently, man. So, you know, that's just me extending, you know, my love and my apologies to that. And that's my piece.
I apologize too. I love you.
All right, family. With that being said, that's what I like, man. You know, it's all love and unity. But what I want to do, y'all, I want to give everybody opportunity to close out. You
You
know,
want to
it's
speak
like,
on the local stuff, man, for Quimens and Hoskin? For real quick,
yeah,
man, what's going on? For the people that know, they don't know.
well, locally, man, there's been a lot of shootings going on. In Pacoima County, it was a 9-year-old girl that got shot in a drive-by. And so one of my other elders, Tony Riddick, they put some money out on to find the killer. It was black on black crime, you know, and you know the streets know who done it, right? But ain't nobody coming forward, you know what I'm saying? This 9-year-old girl lost her life. Then there was a 2-year-old girl that lost, I think that was in Virginia, that 2-year-old girl that lost her life was in Virginia. Then right here recently, like a week or two ago, a 30-year-old girl got killed in Winton, North Carolina, through a drive-by, and she had nothing to do with it. So, you know, I'm working on doing something where I'm at. I'm waiting on the police to give me authority and give me the okay. But we're gonna do something over here about this gun violence that's going on in my town locally. We're gonna get some men and we're gonna go out there and issue a warning that you're not about to be killing women and children. We're not gonna sit by here and let you kill women and children. Like women and children are off limits. And if you can't abide by that, then we gonna hunt your ass down. And it ain't no being politically correct. It ain't no you know, we don't want to push black on black violence, but if you out here killing innocent women and children, you are enemy to us. We can't sit around here and be mad when other races do something to us, but when we doing it to ourselves, we be quiet about it. So you know what I'm saying? So I know with Neb, this is very personal and dear to him because of the sister that got killed. I know he I knew the sister actually too. And I didn't realize it was her till I saw the picture. But you know, so we're gonna do
Yeah,
something
I worked with the shipyard a long time ago. I worked with the shipyard, man. And you know what? The march we had in the Hoskin, dealing with Florida, right? George Floyd.
Yeah, with George Floyd,
She
yeah.
sparked it, man. She was the man behind it. She want to say, hey, Cam. You know, it's called me Cam, right? What y'all gonna do? What you want to do? You know what I mean? And you know that right there sparked it, man. And like 100 people showed up for that march. Remember?
Yeah, it was a nice march, man.
Yeah, in a small
then
town, right?
And then it spread it to the other towns around here. You get what I'm saying? So but it's like certain things is unacceptable. You get what I'm saying? And we need to have, it used to be codes to the streets. Certain things you just couldn't do. And we have to get back to it. And sometimes you have to put yourself in harm's way to make it be known that you can't be out here killing no women and children. Innocent women and children are off limits, man. And so we're gonna have an event, and I'm gonna make the announcement. And it is what it is. Like the chips can fall like they may, but certain things is not. We're gonna let them know that certain things is not okay. And like, yo, this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna come for y'all heads, like, cause we know y'all in the street. So like, yo, you're not gonna do this, man. But I ain't gonna say too much about that until we have it. But go ahead, Crump. But also, hold up. After this, I want to give everybody an opportunity to close out. Say your last piece. Let people know where they can find you. Where you're on social media. Whatever you're doing. And so we can all link together. And build with one another. Because at the end of the day, we want to build. And Calvin, Carl, if you still here, man, I want you to say something, brother. I hope you still here and eventually say something, brother. At the end of the day, we love you, man. At the end of the day, it's all love, man. So I just want you to, if you're not here or if you watch playback, just understand that. But I want to give everybody an opportunity to close out. And I'll mute my mic. You can go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it real quick. My name is Neb Ark. I joined the show. I think Chavis, Carl Chung for showing up. Elder Mesu, Master U, everybody. Ride back to the family, Sister Lenore. And I'm gonna say, what I do? Peace to everybody else. Peace and great well-beings. Crump Snatcher, stay back, man, after the meeting, okay? We'll talk, me and Stuart, we'll talk. Peace, what I do?
Peace. Peace, family. This is Lenora. This is very nice. And everybody have a great night. Peace.
All right, peace. This is Elder Ramesu, and I want to thank you all for allowing me to be in attendance with such a highly esteemed group of, individuals. You have to give yourself credit, you know what I mean, because we're not going to agree on everything, but what I observed tonight is that we had the ability to disagree agreeably, without cursing each other out or just ragging the person's character. But everything was done in a peaceful manner, and that's where we need to be. So I want to thank you. I enjoyed y'all's company because, like I said, it was very inspiring, and I want to thank you, Crump. I'm humbled, by your assessment and your analogies of time and place. But thank you. Peace. Wadu.
Yeah, this Master U, my heart go out to everything that's going on, in Paquimi's and Ahoskie, I hold those places dear in my heart. For many reasons, that's home. That's a part of home for me. But one thing we have to understand for this, we have a saying in our nation that is, I want for my brother what I want for myself, which is mean I want the best. And that also extends to our sister. But then also have to realize too that I am my brother's keeper, I am my sister's keeper. And so we have to get to a point where we as a community, outside of what we believe in or how we feel, to have an ideal that I want what's best for you. And so when I see your kids walking outside, my job is to make sure that your kids, they out here playing with the street lights, street lights on. My goal is to make sure that they're safe because we are our community. And my goal is to make sure that they get inside of the house. If I see your wife, walking outside, you know what I'm saying? And she's by herself taking the trash out, whatever it is, my job is, especially if I know you, is to make sure your wife can safely take her trash to the trash can and put it back in the house. And also, you as my brother, you know what I'm saying? If you have the same amount of love for me that I have for you, I don't want no harm or nothing to come your way. Again, I want what's best for you. And we have to be able to return to those things as a community to where, and I know a lot of just because somebody is your skinfolk, they don't mean your kinfolk. I understand and I get that. We have to get in the mind frame that when a black woman sees a black man, that she feels safe. That when a black kid sees a black man, you know what I mean, that they feel safe. They don't have to worry about nobody trying to kidnap them. You know what I mean? We have to get to the point to where that's just the way that we think. And that's the ideal of community. That's what Marcus Garvey wanted. That's what he wanted. You know what I mean? That's what he wanted in his heart. That's what Khalid Muhammad Lado, that's what they wanted. And so and that's just my piece, man. I want for you all the exact same thing that I want for myself. That's what I want. I want you all to have a beautiful, joyous, righteous life. I want to see your kids prosper and live long old ages and have businesses and have farms and stock market and all type of wonderful, beautiful things. You know what I mean? So that's what I want for everyone on this panel, man. And, blessings to each and every one of you. That's my piece.
Peace.
I am your humble brother Crump. I go by the moniker of your favorite racist. I also go by the moniker of the master student. I am not a master teacher. I'm simply your humble brother. I'm on Instagram, CrumpTV_. If you are on Instagram, give me a Grammy. Hit that follow button. I'm also on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, smash that subscribe button, Crump TV. And last but not least, I'm on Racebook. What better place for your favorite racists? I want to thank all of the panel. I want to thank the host for inviting me and all of the listening audience, and a special shout out to Brother Carl Jung, because I want the family to know that, my parents beat my ass, but I knew they loved me. So if I come off any type of way, just know that ultimately I love you all, good, bad, or indifferent.
Chavis, Carl, you
Yo,
got anything to say?
Yeah, I'm still, I just didn't really have too much to say for the rest of the stuff that we was talking about. But yeah, I'm good, man. Like, I understand dialogue. You know what I'm saying? You get a little crazy. People got different opinions. That's that. But I just believe that some of our fundamental axioms is just different, and the way what probably what we will hold paramount to what we need to be striving towards and how we need to get there is probably different. But I mean, I when I first came into the conscious community, probably about, I'd say roughly 9-10 years ago, probably.
I remember going with you. We went house
Yeah, I was man, when I came to work. When I used to come to work, man, every day it was RBG. Like, I'm telling you, everything I wore, chains, unks, all that stuff, man. But I just realized through a lot of the people I met through the conscious community, and not even just the conscious community. I can even focus on people outside of the conscious community. A lot of the people I see on the streets, like I got a homeboy I chill with, it's like they paralyzed by the notion that the system is so oppressive to the point it paralyzes them that they don't even move because they like, there's no hope. So it's like a nihilistic doctrine. That's the way I see it. I see it as like a nihilistic doctrine to teach. And like when I was in that state, I had what you would say, I had like some type of energy that when I first came into consciousness, it made me want to mobilize. It made me want to move forward with everything. But then when I started reading more and when I started getting more information about things and how people were saying how you got all the systems against Black people, the prison system, how it's connected to the real estate system and all of these type of things, it put me in a state where it was like, there was no hope. So I went into a part of my time where I was like, yo, it's no point. And the only thing that ran through my mind then was, because I was full with resentment. And the only thing that ran through my mind then was I would kill somebody. And it was just like, if a white person say something wrong to me, or if I catch a white person in a certain situation, I would kill him. And that was the only thing that ran through my mind. And I was wondering like what was happening. And it was basically because I was hopeless. I didn't have any hope of moving forward. And then I started watching more conscious people. And one of the people that really pushed me out of that nihilistic state was Polite. Even though I don't agree with everything Polite says or what he do, but he gave me a sense of hope because he spoke on how even though the system is corrupt in a sense, you still have some freedom to strive and to be better than what you are. And when I start to step back and look more at the system and start to hold myself accountable, I seen that, yo, it was, I just didn't apply myself. It was not trying to say that you don't have racist individuals. You don't have people that up the interest rates on Black people when they try to move in certain neighborhoods. I know all of that exists, but I don't think that's the major part that's causing the lack of wealth in Black communities. I will attribute a portion of that to it, but a lot of the guys I grew up with, they just didn't try. Even me, I didn't try, didn't apply myself. And I was talking to my homeboy the other day, and he was like, man, fuck this system, man. I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that. But I know him most of my whole life, and it was a period of time when he was trying and he was striving, but then he just gave up. And then everything started to resort back to, oh, it was the white man's fault. And I see that a lot. So I'm like, okay, I see what's happening. The doctrine itself is paralyzing people because you're teaching people so much that they can't do anything because the cards is stacked so much against them that it just simultaneously paralyzed them. And they like, yo, well, what do I do now? And then the only thing that can come after that is violence. And it's like, okay, yeah, you can go ahead and do that, but let's see how far you get with that. That's not really going to solve anything, because even if you take it to the violent thing, you're talking about a nation with a military that has like 5 branches, and you can't compete on neither one of those branches. So it's like, well, what do you do next? It's like you integrate, you look in and you be like, yo, what can I do to better myself and better my community? When you look at a lot of the homicides that Black people witness yearly, let's say cops kill 1,000 people a year on average. a quarter of those murders are against black people. Okay, so we're talking about somewhere around 250,000 black people get killed a year by cops. But then when you look at the other one, how many black people kill black people? And it's not trying to throw the situation away, but it's like, look, man, you have to be a better person in your community to make a community different. You can't just say it's a top-down approach from policies all the time. I'm not trying to say policies don't matter, but I believe, for me, I'm more of a bottom-up type of person, where if you want to make a change on a real level, it starts with the individual. And when individuals come together and actually join in communion, it makes the situation better just off of that. So it's like, that's why I take the approaches I take. I'm like, look, man, I know racism exists. You're not going to be able to wipe out all the racism. It probably exists for the next 1,000 years. But it's like, what are you going to do? We've seen other nationalities, Asians, Japan, Japanese, and all of them got locked in concentration camps in America. And this was like in the 20th century. But did they let it hold them back? They fought, they did better in their communities, and they rose above that. And I'm not trying to let white people or anybody that oppress black people off the hook. But it's like, I'm not gonna let black people off the hook neither. Like, I'm not gonna let my son say, oh, he can't do good in school just because white people in the world is oppressing him. It's like, nah, that's the world we live in. You gotta do better, you gotta fight to try to change it. So that's the main reason I don't teach that doctrine anymore. Like, I will tell people that, yeah, racism do exist, and we do need to fight it as soon as it's identified, if we can identify it. But people really need to focus on themselves, man. I have too many homeboys that don't take care of their children. So that causes a wedge between me and them. And they like, oh, it's the welfare system. But I'm like, if they put a welfare system in today, I'm still gonna go to work and I'm still gonna take care of my child, man. Like, that's just honorable. I don't care what type of laws they put in, they're gonna have to lock me up in order to stop me from taking care of my child. But that's just how I feel about it. So, but yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Everybody have their own approach on how they feel a situation should get solved. But my main thing is I hold myself accountable, and I try to hold the people around me accountable. So I don't even hang out with some of my homeboys no more because they don't do what I do. And I go back to them and I talk to them and be like, look, let's do this, man. Let's try to do this. Let's try to start a business. But first thing they bump out their mouth to me is the white man. The white man won't allow them to do it. I'm like, all right, like, you can keep teaching that all you want, man, but you're just not going to do too well. So that's my piece for the night. But I enjoyed the conversation though, man. And I try to get in here as much as I can, man, but I work the second shift, man. And my shift go from 4:30 to 1 in the morning. So sometimes I get caught up with a lot of inspections at nighttime. So that's why sometimes I probably miss some of the, the talks throughout the times. But yeah, that's my piece though. And one other thing. To the brothers, you know what I'm saying? I didn't feel that y'all was trying to, like attack me, like attack my character or anything like that. I know y'all got y'all have y'all beliefs and how y'all see things, or how to think, the way I see things, and there's no animosity from me towards y'all. I charge it to the discourse. Like, this is how discourse go. As long as we don't get out the way and start saying, calling each other like fuck nigga, shit like that, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? We just have a dialogue, have a discourse, let the ideas battle each other out instead of we physically battle each other out, and then we can go from there. That's all. That's all I got.
Okay, all right, brother. I'm gonna tell you. Hey, is it Calvin or Carl? What's your first name? Chavis. Chavis, you sound just like me, bro. You sound like everybody else on the panel. I'm gonna be honest.
He came with me to the House of Conscience, man. He was all about Dr. Shabby, all this stuff, man. He fell off, man.
No, he fell off. Listen.
I know.
Hey, Chavis, I'm a member of New Covenant.
Yeah.
I'm a member of New Covenant. I pay my monthly fees. Yeah.
I was at first. Yeah, I was at one time, but I backed off because all the rhetoric that go around it. And I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? I still rock with Polite. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know him personally, but I still check on his videos and I just play it from a distance. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I paid for a lot of that stuff I paid for books, and I got my books. I paid for the status correction thing. I got the documentation. I hollered at Lawan. Me and Lawan was working on it. I fell off. I ain't gonna lie. It was my fault. I didn't follow through. And remember, I don't know if y'all remember last time when the girl was up there, she was talking about it. And I told her I tried it one time. That's why, I tried it through him. And he actually gave me my documentation. He sent me all the paperwork, and he told me what to do with the instructions, but I didn't follow through with it. And you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, I'm not trying to say like do be out here getting people. I'm not gonna say you don't, but I know when I had interaction with them, as far as when I put my money into it, I got the books and I got the status correction. But I know a lot of people said they don't be getting their stuff, but hey.
Well, I'm a member of New Covenant. I pay my monthly fee. I get my checks on the money stocks. I done made money off Polite in the stock market. I'm gonna keep it a buck. And with this real estate, you know, he's teaching the real estate class. I'm a member of New Covenant, and I pay for the classes, and I got his books. So you know what I'm saying. So to each his own. But my main thing I wanted to say is I think that sometimes, and this is gonna be my closing statement. I think sometimes when people come in consciousness, when people come into consciousness, it's all about the person. You get what I'm saying? It's not so much the information, it's the person. It's like when I came into consciousness, my whole idea was I wanted to build. My whole thing, okay, I see they got barriers, but I want to jump over the barriers. You get what I'm saying? I see they got doors that I can't go through, so I'm gonna knock the damn door down, and I'm gonna create my own door. So I think it's really the mindset of the person in their selves that come into this information and how they apply the information. Some people look for excuses in general. You got some people that want an excuse for anything. So if you give me information and that's the type of person, I'm going to use it as an excuse. Some people use it as motivation, right? So it all depends on the person, their self, how they take and apply the information. But after listening to you talk right then, Carl, you sound like everybody else on the panel, brother. The only thing is, I guess with certain situations, the angle that you come at it, I think that may be the thing, the way you coming at it. But you sound like everybody else. We all investors. We all trying to make money. Like we ain't sitting around here saying a white man stopping me. Hell no. I'm investing. You hear me? I'm trying to make money so my next generation, for my children and their children, have a leg to stand up on more than I stood up on. You get what I'm saying? I don't want them to go through the same things that I went through as far financially. But financially ain't everything, but it's a major part of it where we are lacking. So I agree with you, brother, because I got homeboys that I don't even deal with no more because they on the same, they don't want to raise their vibration. They want to keep doing the same old shit. And I'm like, yo, I can't keep doing it, man. Like either you're going to get on the train or you're going to lift behind. It's just that simple. And it ain't personal, right? But with that being said, man, I thank every last one of y'all for coming up here, man. I appreciate y'all. You can go to NCRBGZ Productions on YouTube. You can catch this on Facebook.
What is it again? NCR what now? NC what?
NCRBGZ Productions on YouTube. Okay. That's the on YouTube channel. You can subscribe. I do have Facebook pages, but right now Facebook is treating me like Louis Farrakhan. They kicking me out. They banning me. So I really don't even want to talk about that. But with that being said, man, I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all. And you know, I'm gonna end it with this, man. Don't work for money. Let your money work for you. Do not work for money. It's time for us to let our money work for us. With that being said, peace, man. I'll catch y'all on the next video.
Hey, Crump, stay back, Crump. Remember, stay back. Man, you stay back.